What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and hop into the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
Yeah, guys, here, past the middle part of the week, we're getting down for the home stretch, but it's just the beginning here when it comes to the OTAs. We had OTAs day one yesterday, officially. I guess you could say on the field yesterday, officially, as well as today once again. I mean, we'll talk about it, all the details about what went down in the open practice to the media. That's the main story tonight. Of course, McCarthy spoke some very important words, and that connects to what Dak spoke as well about today. And we have other stuff to discuss, other little things. And other things we're going to say for another episode because a lot of stuff to discuss tonight. So, we're going to be rolling a little bit quickly. We're going to try to get this done at a nice pace. And, of course, we got to always celebrate the family in the house here that joins us for these nightly live streams with the news, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys. So, baby, as we open this beautiful, what we're going to talk about today, you hear it all took place in this building. But on top of that, what took place on this channel when it comes to those that rep that top of the board like sponsor of the week and Cash App King, David S.
Ooh, thank you so much, David. Appreciate you, of course. And he's not the only one representing in that side of things, right? We have the man Marco Seppian bossing that stream around with 78 points as well.
Big man Mark H. from Hawaii. 78 points, Terrence Steele style, who, by the way, is on the docket for discussion tonight. But he's at that stream boss, and he's in the green right now with that. But he's had that for, I think, over 12 straight weeks. So domination there. Much love to him. And by the way, babe, if you look at there's different ways to give and drop love in here in the house. We have leaders, and we have, in the new week here at Cash App and the overall board. And if you look at the both of these things right now, it's led by the same person. The man, the initials JR. You know who he is, guys. Jason Renfro. He is the Cash App leader. He's the leader in the Cash App, and he's also the overall leader on the board. But everybody's tangled up close. And it's just the beginning of the week for us here. So we'll see how that changes as this stream here tonight continues and this week continues. So much love to Jason Renfro, David S., Marco Seppian, and also to those in the house today who are in the membership, different ways of supporting and helping out the channel here on the nightly memberships, gifting memberships, which, by the way, got to give a big shout out to Skeptical Fan. He's currently leading that with 16 gifted memberships. I think you have one, baby.
Yeah.
And so does Scorpio. So much love to you guys. And, of course, always repping that star level, Skeptical Fan, LC, Lincoln Kane, and Dwayne Broussard, DB. Much love to Top Dog. All three of you guys in that star level. There's also the over everything level, so we shout those out as well. But right now, nobody in there. But we just got our membership back like 2 weeks ago. So appreciate everybody who's back in that. Appreciate everybody who is planning to join that. And again, truly appreciate the skeptical fans that are giving away memberships on this channel to the lucky people in the chat. So appreciate the whole thing here across the board. And there's 4 other ways you can help out the channel outside of the super chats and outside of the membership side of things or gifting them. Run through them, baby.
You do have the Cash App, Money Sign, My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comments show up right on screen
just
here
like that.
a super chat.
Just like this super chat by the man Brandon James Shea, who dropped that $2 hard. What did he have to say, baby? Because he's actually kind of, trying to creep up this board a little bit. What did Brandon say?
Ooh, he said, Eagle News. Carson Wentz to the Cowboys. I feel like just seeing that headline would probably make a few chicken heads in Philly explode.
Yeah, that would never happen in Dallas. If he ever came to Dallas, he'd be our 3rd stringer. Not our 2nd stringer. I don't know, this is my opinion.
I was going to say, I'm very thankful to be in a position where us trying to pick up Carson Wentz or bring him onto our team doesn't make sense.
Makes 0.0 sense. I'd rather have Cooper Rush than that stank-ass Carson Wentz. Trash. Hell no. Don't want that. Brandon James, by the way, broke a tie in 3rd place now, all by himself. Dwayne Broussard in 4th. Skeptical in 2nd. And Jason Renfro, like I said, in 1st on the overall board. And as we continue here, baby, you shouted everything out here on these other 4 ways of dropping the love. Mm-hmm. Of course, we had the dark months here when it came to YouTube screwing us over, but we're back at it. And we're back at it here with our little, our instead of just being like a picture, we just here, we're talking to you. So we're a moving picture, guys. And of course, we're going to have a special live stream on Saturday. Pretty sure we're playing Saturday. If everything goes well, we're going to be going for a one-time viewing live stream here.
Yeah, be there or be square.
Some drinks, some music, some other talk, and Dallas Cowboy talk, of course. But that's going to be one time only. Be there, be square. And
guys, remember, it has been a bit of time since we were able to do one of these. So,
yeah, it's been like 2 months, I think, since we did one of these. So we're back at it. We're going to try that again and, just kind of do a little relaxing off-season stream here to break up some of the monotony sometimes. But today, there's no monotony. And let's start off with the chat. Who's in the house, baby?
We have Eric Wallace. What's up? Hello and hi. Landlord from Wakanda representing. Rolando Rodriguez all the way from South Texas. Yeah. Much love. Brandon James Shea in the house. What's up? We have Pioneer. Hello and hi. Stephen White representing. Dallas Common 92, much love to you. Bruce got the toxic juice, you already know. Thomas Garrett, the superior.
Oh, yeah.
Garrett. We have Christian E in the place to be. Skeptical fan, always staying skeptical. Q Ball, what's up? Much love to you. We also have Jason Renfro. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jason. Much love. Freedom First, hello and hi. Let me come back down. No, I think that's everybody here so far. So maybe obviously as a handful more people kind of start trickling in. I know, like you said, I know McCarthy spoke quite a bit today. But before we even get to all of that, I know for sure there's some Cowboy adjacent news that we obviously have to touch on.
Always NFL news. You know how we roll here. Always little NFL news. And if you guys missed it already from the OTAs today, the photos from there went down. I did post a standalone video on that. If you haven't seen it, check it out later after the stream. I'll also be running it a little bit here in a smaller window for you guys when we talk about the OTA. So I just want to put that out there. Now, let's get rolling here. Let's just get this thing in and get it done. Madden 24. We do our Madden simulations. Of course, that's going to have to probably stop because of YouTube and their new rules. But Madden 24 is going to allow Xbox and PS5 users to play each other online now. Long time coming. Call of Duty had that now. Finally, other games got that as well. Now Madden has that as well. At least to those platforms. I know Call of Duty gets to the PC as well. You can do it all ways. So just want to start off with a little bit of Madden news right now. Now we'll talk about football news in the NFL. First and foremost, since we are in OTAs, right? Cowboys are, this is the first week of true intermingling and scheme installing OTAs. The Patriots are losing 2 days of voluntary organized team activities because of a violation of off-season rules. Again, they had an announcement about Thursday's. They had an announcement about the practice being called off for, today. The Patriots. Now we know why. Right, another OTA next week has been taken away, so that's some important installation time. McCarthy will speak about how important it is, and we'll hear that in a minute. But again, the Patriots losing 2 days. Belichick trying to cut corners. Is that really a surprise? Now, former Cowboy, we talked about him literally a couple days ago. Fullback Keith Smith from the Falcons. Unfortunately for him, he was arrested on traffic charges. So we're like, what the hell? I was wanting to investigate. Like, traffic charges? They arrested for traffic charges. What happened? He got a speeding ticket earlier this year. He informed the Atlanta police about it, paid it, and thought it was all over with, right? Per his agent, basically what happened was there was a miscommunication occurring, and his license was unknowingly suspended. So today he was pulled over for having an expired registration, wound up arrested because he had a suspended license. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So hope the best for Keith Smith, and definitely, obviously, for a miscommunication. He's going to jail for that? That's weird.
Yeah, definitely need to see exactly what happens there. Wishing him the best. Not really sure if that's exactly the proper phrase here, but just hoping that everything kind of gets worked out and sorted out.
Yeah, right? I would say definitely towards the best is getting out of jail, right? I'm sure he's out of jail already. It's just a pain in the ass. Why even have to go through this? It makes no sense. Either way, miscommunication. He got arrested. It was a mistake in a way, right? And he thought he paid his fine and everything was good. I guess it wasn't. Speaking of jail, guy who stayed out of jail and is free as he should be is Matt Ariza, punter. Now we know how the whole situation went down with that gang rape, and he was cut by the Bills last year. Back in the league now, trying to get a job. The Jets are working him out today. They worked him out today. So again, punter, and a great punter he is. I mean, he punts him 90 yards at the 1-inch line. So great punter. Matt Ariza is working out with the New York Football Jets. Now here's an interesting one that affects the Cowboys as directly, right? In the NFC East, the Eagles are working out a gentleman named DJ Fluker. He has not played in an NFL game since 2020, but he's, again, working out with the Eagles. Why? Because he's lost over 40 pounds and has been working tirelessly to get back into shape. He's a high value guy when he was drafted. Howie Roseman continues to work the trenches and get guys in there. Any thoughts on that? Because that's a good lineman. They're stacking up on linemen. And again, there's not many. I think you made a comment about not many. You keep speaking, but it's all off season. It seems like linemen in general have become a
bit more
high commodity,
a rare commodity. Yeah. So you kind of see teams doing weird stuff. Ooh, I almost used a different word there. Sorry about that. But yeah, you see teams doing strange and bizarre things, or maybe taking chances, or maybe paying guys that normally would not have gotten paid that much, or heck, even been starters 2-3 years ago in the league, but now not only starters are one of the better guys on the line considering everybody else that's there. So
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. DJ Fluker has never played in 3 years, basically. But
Joe's a Cowboys character. He's like, Fluker, I don't even know it.
Well, the point is that like think about someone like making your point. To your point, Connor McGovern from the Cowboys. He went signed with the Bills, $8 million a year. A guy who's really a backup, right? He's going to be starting in Buffalo. That goes along to what you're saying, and people desperately looking for guys anywhere they can find them. Offensive line is always important, maybe even a rare commodity, like you said. So again, the Eagles are trying to stack another offensive lineman and get lucky with them. Now, the Washington Commanders. There you go. We're staying in the NFC East. Tight end Armani Rogers, guys. Unfortunately for him and the Washington Commanders, he tore his Achilles yesterday following his MRI. It verified it. He's going to have surgery next week. He's going to make a full recovery. He should make a full recovery, but he's out indefinitely. He's out for the season. That's a major, again, one of their few guys are trying to get at the tight end spot because they've been having, and they have no offense still. They're still lacking on that offense for Washington. Now a big hit for them when it comes to the tight end position. So just wanted to throw it out there. Now, the last free agent / Cowboy adjacent NFL news piece is actually pretty big for the Cowboys. We talked about him the other day, 2 days ago, baby. Former Broncos kicker Brandon McManus. He was cut from the Broncos. Mm-hmm. We talked about his numbers. 14 of his 19 misses in the last 3 years have been all from 50 or farther back. Longer. So we talked about he didn't have a good year last year, but he had 2 blocks, and all his misses were outside of the 50-yard, except for one that was not blocked. So inside of 50, he was, in the last 3 years, 59 of 64 field goals. That's a 92% hit rate. Fantastic.
I was going to say those are impressive numbers.
And it's so impressive that even Robbie Gould, Mason Crosby, all these, Matt Prater, all these guys that are floating around out there, it doesn't matter. He got picked up yet today, Brandon McManus. And not by the Cowboys, as you can imagine. He's signing a 1-year deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Brandon McManus was literally released on Tuesday, found work less than 48 hours later. And again, I've talked about this on the day of his release. I said there are at least 3 other kickers that have as much or more experience than him. And still with that, McManus was still probably the best option for the Cowboys because, again, when you look at the context of his misses, you realize, okay, he's missing from 54 and 56, but he ain't missing him from inside 50. Actually, I think it was inside 52 or 54. He's been in the 90s in the last 3 years. So, and again, some of his extra points were blocked. Some of his shorter kicks were blocked. Is that an issue with him? Possibly. Could be also with the blocking. The guy's talented. He may not be as good as he was when he first came into Denver, whatever it may be. And also remember, Denver is mile high, so the ball goes farther. He might have troubles elsewhere, but it was a good risk to take. I still think there's 4 or 5 good kickers out there. Yeah, we missed on McManus, but there's other guys out there. Probably the best option was McManus right now. Knowing John Fossil, though, the actual choice is probably a lot less obvious. It's probably some guy he already knows from his USFL days or from
probably
from
not
XFL, some shit.
Just being honest, probably not anybody we've brought up previously.
Yeah, Jaguars are not. We're going to release their kicker, Riley Patterson. They actually traded him to the Lions. He kicked in 7 games for Detroit in 2021, so they liked him back. And that's the story on the kicker. Let's hear the story on the guy who's kicking ass on that stream boss with 81 points. Mark Hovsepian and he just dropped that 5 on it.
Yes, he
Big
did.
Mark in the house. Aloha, so yes.
He said, "Aloha. Sorry I came in late. Any online news? Any of the free agents look real good. Not hype, but possible serious playing time. The Denver kicker is okay, but what about the Denver guard?"
No, again, that's he's hit my spot there because Denver's guard there, Dalton Reisner, still nowhere to be picked up by anybody. So the Cowboys obviously probably don't want him or waiting for prices to drop. No real other news on offensive linemen. I do have offensive lineman news for our team though, Mark. And again, I don't want to overhype crap here. I will have to put the clown show a little bit sometimes, but I will say this. There's some good news on our offensive line side of things, even with a lot of guys missing. We'll talk about it. Now, he also said, what was it? Kicker is okay, he said. He is okay from Denver. He's now in Jacksonville. Of course, now officially signed in Jacksonville. But I'll say this. There's still 4 or 5 other solid veteran kickers that I have no problem rolling the dice on for a couple $1 million. That's just, I need to secure those points one way or another in my mind. So, I hear you, Mark. And listen, I wish there was more names to talk about when it comes to the offensive line, but unfortunately, no. Right now, as of right now,
exactly.
Mark jumps into 3rd place. By the way,
if you somehow know something the Cowboys don't, drop any names here in the chat. Although, once again, we discussed quite a few names throughout the earlier part of the off season and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and obviously
kickers,
it didn't really pan out. Now, of course, there is still time, like you said, between now and training camp, and that's what I'm saying. Whether it's O-line, whether it's kicker, the point is, we do technically still have some time. But at least when it comes to kickers specifically, I do think we have a little bit more time there. But I'm just kind of surprised that the Cowboys haven't addressed it yet. Just throwing that out there. So,
well, again, the addressing is Vizcaino, unfortunately. That's the way the Cowboys look to address that now. But just like the offensive line situation, it's probably the name that we don't even know that the Cowboys are thinking of getting. It's not Dalton Reisner or Pugh or there's a couple other guys floating around. It's going to be blank at the bottom of the list of possibilities. A guy who's probably going to be high window, high ceiling, but very cheap, very very bottom bargain shopping. But a very high window. That's what's going to sell us for an offensive lineman in there. Now, we got a couple guys here in Dallas, I'm going to say, the drafted guy and undrafted guy that I think can make a move to at least depth help on our line, on our interior there. But we're going to talk about the offensive line tonight in a lot of ways. So, Mark, hang in there. Much love to him. Any other comments, of course, drop them with the love. And we will definitely, answer them the best we can. The best we can. So, but honestly, and with as much reality as possible. Now, kicking, we moved on from that. Just wanted to make sure we discussed that. I also want to throw out there one real quick thing about our schedule. This is really quick. It's not even going to take up any time at all. But I'm just curious to know what you think, maybe, about this. When it comes to our schedule, I'll throw it up on here over my face.
All right.
Look at those 4 out of the last 5 games of that schedule.
All right.
the Washington Commanders in Week 12. Well, I guess let's put it this way: Week 12, the Washington Commanders. I'll say this: in the last third of the stretch there, or the last, not even the third, the last 4 to 5 games would be fine. 5 out of 6 games, you'll see quarterbacks that we have not ever beaten yet. So the Commanders, whether it's Week 12 or Week 18, their projected starter is Sam Howell, and he beat us last year in the last game of the year, Week 18. So he's 1-0 against us. Then you go. That's Week 12. You go to Week 13. And you got Seattle Seahawk quarterback projected starter is Geno Smith. He's never played us, so no wins. But he hasn't lost to us is the point. Then you go, of course the Eagles, we know they got Jalen Hurts, but then we got Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. And we've beaten Jalen Hurts, but we've never beaten Josh Allen. He's 1-0 against the Cowboys. And then the week after that, Week 16, we got the Miami Dolphins, who, again, Tua Tagovailoa, I can't say his name, Tua. He's never played us, so he's 0-0. He's never. So again, we've never beaten Tua. We've never beaten Josh Allen. We've never beaten Geno Smith. We've never beaten Sam Howell. And again, can we beat these guys, please? Especially like guys like Sam Howell, Geno Smith. Come on, I know we can take Tua down. And Josh Allen, it's going to be in the snow and the cold up there. Let's do it. Let's get Josh Allen and beat his ass. So I just want to throw it out there. I don't know if I found it interesting. A lot of quarterbacks we haven't played or beaten yet. In that last Week 12 through 18, I think Goff is the Week 17 in there. I mean, I think he's beat us 3 out of 3 times, 3 out of 5 times. I think. I don't know. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby.
So no, it just like you said. Obviously, it just goes to show, not so much that we have to go out there and beat every single team or whatever, but there's still a lot left to do in this league as far as proving yourself, and is the fact that it is kind of the last stretch of the season as well that we're going to be talking about. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays into, of course, whether we win the division, where exactly we fall, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So, we always love to have lots of fun in some December.
If we handle our business, none of this scares me. Mm-hmm. We win them all if it's up to me, honestly. So let's roll into today. This is what there's 2 major things for the Dallas Cowboys today, and that's what Mike McCarthy / Dak Prescott said. Listen, Tyler Smith spoke, Kelvin Joseph spoke. That's very important, by the way. We'll touch on those guys more tomorrow. I think Turpin spoke as well. We'll get all the speaks, everybody who spoke in the next couple of days, or whenever it trickles out and all that stuff comes out. It'd just be too much to do tonight. But I want to focus on Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, and of course the OTAs on that field. We got this. Not to see video, there's no video allowed, but we get to see pictures, get to hear descriptions of what went down. We're going to break it down for you here on My Cowboys Family in the grand finale. So stay tuned for that. But baby, let's start it off with the big bubble. He walked in there today. Again, remember guys, today is a day where the Cowboys have a planned to their Thursday to have an open media session. They do it about once a week for the OTAs. So an open media session, and the media's there watching every move the Cowboy players do. You can't film them, but you can watch them. So McCarthy's there front and center again. We knew he was back last week on the field, but it's good to see Mike McCarthy back at the podium. And he did speak today on his recent back procedure. Let me throw him up on the screen here for you guys. Mr. Big Bubble here, Mike McCarthy. Give him the due respect. And again, this press conference that kicked off before the actual practice today. Remember, this came first. This was first, then the practice came after that, and then Dak spoke. But we're going to put Dak with Mike here in a minute. Later, yeah. But Mike McCarthy on his recent back procedure said, quote, "I'm good. I'm back. I'm 100%. So that's great to hear for him. He also returned from this back surgery, but he also added about what the plan is going forward. Quote, "This phase is really for getting the rookies acclimated with the veterans." And we also got some acclamation here from Jason Renfro with that dollar holler in the house.
Much love, Jason.
What did the man say?
Appreciate you with the classic Go Cowboys there.
Woo.
Much love. And of course, Marco Seppian, even though he dropped that $5 holler earlier, Jason Renfro's drop brings him back down to 80 points.
80 points, yeah. Well, he's right there back at that. He was at 78, went up to 81, or 80. Yeah, now he's back down to 80. So we'll see. Now, appreciate that, Mr. Jason Renfro. Go Cowboys. He's still in first place on both boards, by the way. So, This is what I really like to hear when it comes to like what's the game planning for the Cowboys in this phase 3 of these OTAs. That's what really gets me cooking here, right? So to me, hearing what he said, again, the rookies and the veterans getting acclimated with each other, but I want to know about what they're doing in these installs. He said the Cowboys have 8 installs this spring. Today is install number 2. Remember, guys, yesterday Monday was day 1 of the installation. Today was day 2, open to the media, to the reporters. McCarthy said that the Cowboys will go through, this is interesting now, it's important, the Cowboys will go through team drills at jog-through practice during these OTAs. He cited the rules as being the main reason why. The Cowboys never gone this light on practice before, but he said the rules probably has a lot to do with the fact that the NFL fined Mike McCarthy $50,000 in 2021 and $100,000 last year for too much physicality. Competitive physicality is what they called it.
There's a yacht somewhere enjoying the fruits of Mike McCarthy's fines or something.
Yeah, McCarthy said he has been fined, of course, more than once. We know this, and he said, "quote I'm glad you guys find it funny because my wife and I don't. It's a sore subject." So obviously not very happy with it. I mean, he's doing real light. It's a lot of jog-throughs and jogging. And
you try going home and explaining how you just lost $150,000
in 2 years. That's I'm gonna rip the hair out if I was thinking like that. My goodness, maybe I couldn't tell you that.
You know what? Respect though to McCarthy, because obviously we could have doubled down and just kept doing what we were doing. We could have tried to get cute. We could have tried to whatever.
Sneak something by.
Honestly, he just said, "Screw that. I'm gonna just completely revamp and adjust my program." So
my style, yeah. He's gonna do it his way with making sure that there's not going to be any chances for violations. So good catch there. And also, I want to shout out somebody else here. Somebody we just heard a minute ago here dropping some love in that cash to the app. And it's our leader right now on the overall board in the Cash App. It's, of course, the man, Jason Renfro.
Ooh,
much love. You. He always reps that Navy, Blue, Silver, and Star for everything. Got to get that 6 and beyond. He said, "Our Cowboys."
Always go Cowboys.
Appreciate you, Jason. Thank you on that. And now, let's hear what McCarthy kind of expanded on a lot of the stuff and the shifting from phase 2 in rookie minicamp as opposed to 11-on-11s and other things. Again, not happy about these workout rules. I talked about that already, but the whole context of what he said, kind of basketball on grass mindset. No 2-minute drills until mandatory minicamp. Give me the whole lowdown on what McCarthy said in his words.
And like I said, he was directly asked, why the shift during the rookie minicamp to more phase 2 instead of some of the 11-on-11s like you've done before. McCarthy said it, quote, "There's rules that we all have to adhere to. Team drills are not really practical under the guidelines, in my opinion, that exist. So today, you'll see that our team periods are basically walkthroughs and jog-throughs. So won't have a competitive 11-on-11 drill here ever again in the offseason."
So again, guys, remember we saw these guys. I remember last year at the rookie camp, tip passes, picks. We saw these videos of them running for the end zone and all this stuff going. Now you're just seeing individual workout stuff, jog-throughs. It's like a 2-week acclimation period. It's weird. But it is what he has to do to make sure he avoids fines.
Yeah, I was just saying, he was straight up asked, is it to avoid being fined again? McCarthy said, "I'm glad you find the humor in the amount of money I've lost. My wife and I don't think it's funny. It's really a sore spot with me. But I'm on camera. I tell you exactly how I feel, but have got to follow the rules."
Okay,
so
we got
you can assume not great.
Now, what about minicamp?
So McCarthy did say minicamp will do team 2-minute drills. It'll be the first time that we get together as a team and move full speed.
So again, reiterating, full speed team drills, not hitting. That starts on mandatory minicamp, which is I think June 6, 7, 8, or 8, 9, 10, something like that. So that the first week and a half of June or so, the Cowboys will have the mandatory minicamp. That's when we'll be doing the stuff that we've been doing in the past years in rookie minicamp and in these OTAs. So that's kind of pushed now to June, the beginning of June, which is the only way of avoiding these fines, it seems like, for McCarthy. Now, I want to know what McCarthy is saying, baby, when it comes to some of the depth on our offensive line. Like, I not only the offensive line, just what we're going to do about our offensive line, specifically at the guard position.
Yeah, again, we just touched on when we were talking about some of our NFL news, just how dire the situation is when it comes to some of the O-line stuff. McCarthy was asked, how do you feel about where we're at today at left guard? Which, remember, guys, as far as we know, it's still a big old question mark.
Is it Josh Ball? Is it Terrence Steele cross-training? Is it going to be that? Is it going to be Tyler Smith? Is it going to be some Richards or TJ Bass? So what did he say?
Quote, yeah, I like the fact that the versatility that we have. I think if we all want to line up and play 5 guys for 20 games, the reality of having continuity to your O-line directly reflects your win total. You look at the history of that. I think you have to recognize that 17 games is a bit of a stretch. So position flex is critical. You guys know all of the combinations, so we'll be working those angles. And again,
it's pretty easy to see what he says there.
You're right. You can't really hide too much from us, McCarthy, just like Jason Renfro showing up and showing out with that dollar holler right there on the screen.
And he said, "Go Cowboys!"
Always.
Much love to Jason Renfro leading the pack here so far this week in first place on both Cash App and overall board. But, it's interesting, baby, what he said here. I'm curious what Jason Renfro thinks about this. But basically saying, we know the combinations. You guys know the options. I'm not going to go through here and break down who's starting, where they're going to go, and what's going to happen. That tells me we know at worst case scenario, left guard is going to be Tyler Smith. That's what it tells me. Worst case scenario, unless someone jumps off
a lot more confident than our current situation would make you believe.
And they all have done that. All the front office, Jerry, Steven, they've all said this kind of mindset of like, we'll get by with the offensive line stuff.
And the reason that I have to agree with you, baby, is that comment there about position flex. That Tyler combined Smith with the position flex we're talking about, the implications, it does feel like we're asking for Tyler Smith to, show up and show out again.
Yeah,
that was it as far as that specifically. And guess what, guys? McCarthy also had a quick little update on our favorite running back situation regarding Tony Pollard and also our favorite guard situation, I guess, right tackle. Right tackle. Just saying. The reason I say this because the Cowboys implied that he was going to be maybe moving around. But, yeah, like I said, McCarthy has an update on Pollard and Terrence Steele.
And that's important because, again, these guys, if you saw our video earlier, they were on the field, and they were both out there. A broken leg from Tony Pollard in that San Francisco game in the playoffs. We basically offense stopped after that. And then Terrence Steele, who obviously, guys, with him on the right side, right tackle, Terrence Steele with right guard, Zach Martin. And my goodness, this was a dominating force on that right side of our offensive line. Domination. Duo blocking, combo blocking. I loved it. We got to get that on the field. I just hope his ACL is okay. He gets back on it. But both guys were on the field doing a little bit of stuff. I'll explain in a minute. But first, explain to me, what did Mark Hovsepian have to say, baby? He dropped that 5 on it.
Ooh. And he said...
Much love. And he's in second place, by the way, on the overall board with that drop.
I can't take this BS. Position flex means jack shit when you don't have quality starters. What position flex? Ball, Barnyard. In other words, we are screwed.
I think you hit it on the nail on the head. I said it as well. I think it's Tyler Smith is the position flex that is being spoken on here when McCarthy is speaking. I can't speak on what Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones want to say or do, but the position flex is, to me, about the guy here in the middle, number 73, Tyler Smith. That's the flex. Now, of course, Tyron Smith's going to flex the right tackle, but listen, McCarthy said a couple things, baby. He said, there's no way they're going to last 17 games like this. You got to make sure you have the guys you want to have the continuity. So they want to keep that's why Tyler Smith, they want him at left tackle because they want him there the whole year. The reality is not going to happen.
They want that consistency, that continuity.
Because they know someone's going to go down.
To flex him.
Because they know Tyron Smith's going to get hurt. So they rather have Tyron Smith as like your temporary swing guy than be your starting left tackle. But then the problem comes down to why did you get Osiris Torrance in the second round when you needed a left guard? And that's where we have the issue. There's a big gaping hole if you have left tackle Tyler Smith. And I don't care. Ball don't count. None of these guys, even though we like some of these guys, Adoga can play inside a little bit. Some of these guys can take a game or two. They can't play the whole season once Tyler Smith got to go to left tackle because Tyron Smith is injured, right? We know it's going to happen. But the good thing is Mike McCarthy is admitting he knows it happens. So there is a plan in place. Now, I know, before I go any farther, Marco Sepian drops another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it. And now he's getting ready to take over that top spot. He's getting close, Jason, getting closer. I think he might have jumped you. So that either way, added 5 more on the board. What did the man say?
Bottom line is, we pulled a 100% clown show when it came to the O-line. To think Farniok and Ball are quality players is a joke. And clown show.
Boom.
What a joke.
A guy who's not a clown show here in this picture is 73. And that was a great job by Will McClain, convincing whoever to draft him. But those guys, they do have a lot of clown DNA in them. That's no doubt about that. And I just mentioned, I didn't even know he's mentioned about about O-line, but Osiris Torrance was right there, and we skipped on him. Sounds like a McCarthy play. Sounds like a Jerry Jones, hey, let's go tight end play. I don't know. I just that's one that's going to be watched and eyeballed and magnified for a while. So clown show, we'll see. But I think that I don't know what the plan is for Mike McCarthy and who's going to be playing that left guard position on a consistent basis. I don't know what their plan is when Tyron Smith gets hurt. What is the plan? Like that's my question, I guess. And he kind of jumped around not answering that question. But he did also talk about the injuries to number 78 with his torn ACL and the injury to Tony Pollard and that broken leg. So again, I think you have some of that, if I'm not mistaken, maybe, when it comes to what McCarthy said. I'll clear these guys out the way.
Yeah, like I said, in regards to Tony Pollard and Terrence Steele, he specifically said, quote, I think just because the way that we're practicing, they're able to do a little more. But so some guys are, like Tony is doing the walkthroughs and things like that. So yeah, you'll see them participate more. Terrence isn't quite ready for some of that, so we'll definitely try to interject these guys the best we can here. But we still have the ramp up too for the first 4 days of training camp. So that will be part of their initiation back. But our rehab guys have been full-time, and they're doing real well.
Well, that's a great thing to see. Look, no matter what you think about what's going on, I do want to kind of go back and address Marco Sepian's comment in a minute. But go ahead.
No, I was just going to touch on this super quickly. It's just good to know where they're at as far as their recovery. And let's be honest, we knew just based on the timeline, Pollard was going to be around 100% right around this mark or so, right?
No, it was going to be a little later, but definitely before training camp, he would be 100%.
I know, again, when you look at the
100%, you said. Again, he's
when
like
you look at
70.
the timing of his injury or whatever, June was basically when he hit that kind of 6-month mark. That's all I'm saying. Now, I know the Cowboys already, said it was more closer to training camp, which gives you a bit of a 2-3 week
to be 100%, I think. Yeah,
leeway. But my point is that this is around the time that Pollard was expected to be let's just say cleared to be 100% and good to go. Now, Terrence Steele, we knew that his injury was not only more severe, but that his was probably going to take a little bit longer than just a few weeks. So just throwing that out there. Now, baby, real quick, let me toss it back to you.
Well, yeah, because I actually I'm gonna say something here real quick about what Mr. Marco Sepian said as well. I promise you, I'm gonna touch on the Farniok comment and the Ball comment, because both these guys were on the left and right of Biadish today. I'll give you a little preview on that. So you get ready to clutch the pearls, because that is a little shocking to me that the Cowboys would go with that look. But we'll talk about Farniok and Ball very, very, I promise you, very soon. But, I do want to say my thoughts on this. Tony Pollard, able to participate at all in this reduced tempo, even as a reduced tempo OTAs, the fact he's able to do this, the fractured tibula, suffer the fibula fracture on January 22nd. He's already on that field. He gave about 20 minutes. I'll talk about it later. That's important to me as well. And Terrence Steele, just the fact that he's out there walking around on that torn ACL and MCL, doing well per McCarthy, like you said. Don't expect him to do much on the OTA side of things, running around. He's just gonna be, he's gonna be walking around, which is good to see, though. He's not gonna do the stuff that Tony Pollard has done.
Yeah.
But he's gonna do this stuff. He's gonna do some sideline walking around. Is better than not even being out there. That's ahead of schedule to me as he recovers from that ACL. And again, this means that the Cowboys are gonna try out various different combinations of offensive linemen, different variations of offensive linemen to see who can do what before Terrence Steele gets back out there on the right tackle spot. So anyways, I'll stop. We'll touch on the offensive line when we talk about the OTAs a little bit more. But I want to hear from Brandon James Shea, who just dropped the drop of the week so far for anybody here. Brandon James with that $10 Cooper Rush holler. And maybe he jumps into I think third place, I think, right now on the board, baby. What did the man say?
Brandon James said, Devontae Adams, the Raiders, and the Chiefs are all facing lawsuits from workers over the receivers' post-game shove. Go Cowboys. Go Cowboys. So thank you so much, Brandon. And look, whenever I hear stuff about NFL teams and lawsuits and stuff like that, I don't know about you, but I just I hold my breath until I make sure that there's no Dallas Cowboys shenanigans involved. I'm just
it always feels like there was one that pops up, right?
Like, I remember a few days ago where apparently, word on the street is that there's other players and other teams involved with some of the gambling stuff that shouldn't be happening. All I know is that I was crossing all my fingers and toes. Like, please don't let it be a Cowboy. So, and as of now, no evidence and no sign Cowboy. That it is a Cowboy. So, thank goodness for that. And thank you again, Brandon James. Appreciate you adding you to the board here.
Well, he's already on the board, but you know what? He is way up on the board right now. In fact, he's in second place. Why is that? Because Marco Sepien is in first place. I didn't update it properly, but I did now. Marco Sepien in first place. Brandon James Shea in second, and Jason Renfro in third. Skeptical in fourth, and Dwayne Broussard rounding out the top five there in fifth place. So much love to Brandon James Shea and everybody else in the house, Jason Renfro, and Marco Sepien, who's currently in first place on that overall board.
Yeah. And thank you, Corporate Liaison. Appreciate that. Eva Polanco, always go Cowboys. So, and again, like we said, the front office is being, I think, purposely, obfuscating the situation when it comes to the O-line. But like you said, let's kind of see how it works out, but obviously their plan is to try to leave as many of those guys where they're at as long and as much as possible.
We're going to actually touch on this again when we get to the OTAs, which is even more important, because that's what's on the field showing. And that's what they're showing us on purpose. Mm-hmm. So I want to always preface that with an asterisk or something saying they know it's day of media. They're going to show us combination that maybe they're not going to be using in reality. We'll see. Well, I mean, they wanted to try the things that are on the outskirts or the outliers of what they want to try is what they try in front of the media. It seems like maybe.
I get what you're trying to say.
So look, the point here is, by the way, Brandon James Shea, much love to him, but the drop of the week so far, $10 holler. And I do want to say, actually, that is the very relevant part about those lawsuits about shoving those guys post game, walking off the field. You remember when we lost the Super Bowl? We lost the playoff game to the Niners. Remember who gave a shove to the cameraman and trying to get the camera out the way? It was Mike McCarthy. So good connection there, Brandon. I see what you're doing, Brandon. I'm seeing you. I see how you mixing the Dallas Cowboys into this. So appreciate you, Brandon James Shea. And sorry about your Lakers. They're done. They had a good season. I hate them, though. Go Bulls. Go Cowboys. Anyways.
I will say, it's been a slightly more interesting basketball situation this year, at least.
Yeah, the Heat lost today, so now it's 3-2. The Heat winning. I think they go back to Miami now, so hopefully they can win. Take the Heat. They take the Heat to the championship, and then I like to see the number 1 and 8 go at it here, Denver and the Heat. But look, either way, my team's not in there, so it's like I just don't want to see the Lakers and Celtics win. I'm tired of that. I remember growing up and it was Celtics Lakers for the Sega. You guys remember that? Anyways, back to football. The best running back receiver duo in the NFL, and I'm bringing this up because you brought up Tony Pollard. Mm-hmm. How about Tony Pollard? He had 193 carries for 1,007 yards, 12 touchdowns, 55 targets for 39 receptions, 371 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns in 16 games. Monster. And that wasn't even full load right there. That was like that's Zeke buffering. That's Jerry Jones throwing the Zeke factor on that field forcibly for the first half of that season of last year. So I don't know if he's going to have he's going to have more numbers. He's going to have better numbers, but is he going to be more efficient? If he is even close to this efficiency, he's going to be the best running back in the NFL this year. So now CeeDee Lamb, I'm going the combo route here because CeeDee Lamb, throw him in the mix. The offensive power, right? And you heard Tony Pollard throw in there CeeDee Lamb last year, 107 catches, 1,359 yards, 9 touchdowns in 17 games. CeeDee Lamb, remember, the reason I mentioned CeeDee Lamb, he did these numbers. He had all these numbers with a backup quarterback for about a fourth of the year. Keep that in mind, guys. Hell of a year for CeeDee Lamb. Pollard, with all the situations around the circumstances, right? With Zeke buffering, you can say, and, Cooper Rush back there. CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard blew up. And now we got Brandon Cooks. Gallup's going to be healthier. You trust me on this. Hopefully they want to use tight ends. We got tight ends now. Ferguson, Hendershot, and now, Schoonmaker. We got talent. Now, the offensive line is the biggest weakness. That can destroy game plan. That can destroy quarterback, running back, passing, receive everything. It can destroy everything. So that's why Mark is so concerned. Mm-hmm. That's why we've always been concerned. That was my number one target is offensive line, and we waited for the 5th round to go it that way.
And
so
Frame Rippers, much love.
Yeah.
Voodoo Alpha saying MCF, the Bulls will never win again. Oh, well. Go Celtics. I'm from LA. Fuck the Lakers.
Damn, there you go. So he's an anti-Laker there. But I just, listen, I'll still stick with my team no matter what. I still watch basketball. I like basketball. But just Jordan days, man. Those were the days. Anyway.
So, real quick, Landon from Wakanda said, all jokes aside, Lamb better run, better routes, and stop the drops.
Agreed. And again, I think that he is getting better. I mean, you got to remember, he's still getting better. He had a big jump. He still could have done better. He could have ran better routes. But you got to remember, let me just throw in there for everybody that didn't know. Kellen Moore, most of his concepts, which is something McCarthy vocally last year said I am not a fan of, were route options for the receiver. So the receiver has to be the one reading the defense and make the right. You go on the right. Go pick the right route to run based on what in the middle of the play where the defender is at on the field. And Dak read it right, but CD did not. CD caused a couple picks because of that. So did Dalton Schultz. So that's where the improvement has to come. But I think that, again, every year, CeeDee Lamb has gotten better. So I am not even close to doubting that. And even though he had, of course, he can clean up some stuff. Everybody can. But he can clean up some stuff, true. I think he will. I think he proved last year he's a number one receiver in the NFL. I'm talking about top 5, probably top 10, definitely receiver in the NFL. Now, man, we've been talking a lot here about a lot of great things, and I'm glad we got to spread the kind of the discussion around here. Let's get back on track though, because we got a lot to still talk about. McCarthy finishing up some things, and we're going to talk about the OTA, the actual players, the practice on the field, which I'm excited about to discuss. So, but I also haven't heard a lot of the context stuff about McCarthy and what he said. So, baby, keep hitting me up with things, because I know he talked about our kicker, which is always going to be a hot topic. Talk about McManus not being picked up by Jacksonville.
One of the more popular offseason topics consistently, right?
So you love this, baby.
Of course. I don't necessarily love the answer he gave, because he was asked, how do you feel about our kicking situation? McCarthy said, good. I think I'll definitely say it's fluid. We'll continue to work that, and just stating the obvious. The XFL just finished up. The USFL too. So we're looking at all the opportunities, and obviously the waiver wire. So we definitely want to have competition at the kicking position.
God damn. So it just sounds like they're not going to go after any of our known veterans out there. They're going to go with the cheap deal from USFL.
I'm going to go with that line where he said, I think I'll definitely say it's fluid. That just go ahead and lets you know we don't really know what we're doing.
And that's what kills me
there. Because
Jerry Jones said this, after the draft, that we're looking for a veteran. We don't want one of these guys that's going to get the yips and younger guy, a rookie, one of these guys. So
you're not going to find that veteran at the playground, Jerry.
Well, now he's talking about USFL, XFL, which I know he also mentioned. There's options there, but I'm just saying that now we're playing with fire again, in my opinion, rather than a sure shot. That's just me. I don't know. I call me scared. I am scared. I don't want to see us lose a game or miss extra points when there's pressure, like we have with Maher, who, by the way, he is a veteran. You never know with this fucking front office. So yeah, I'm a little nervous with that. And again, it's fluid, because maybe one day Jerry gets up and says, "Yeah, give me Robbie Gold on the phone," and then he's, $3 million? Nah, too much. Give me the XFL guy for $500,000. That's what scares me. Mm-hmm. Jerry, that's fluid. That scares me. And Mike McCarthy, he has his hands tied. It's all in Jerry Jones's hands, right?
Yep. So now McCarthy also touched a little bit on Micah Parsons, who, by the way, because apparently Micah was like, when I say arguing, it's not like it wasn't like an argument, right? Micah's a passionate guy, so he was just kind of having a passionate discussion with some of his teammates regarding, I guess, his weight.
No, he's bulking up, guys. We talked about him go up to close to 255. He still looks damn fast. He's 252, 53, and he was faster and quicker than Deuce Vaughn, believe it or not.
And so, of course, McCarthy was asked, have you seen Micah? What do you think? How you feeling? McCarthy said, quote, he looks good. Walked in here when they were walking down the hall, arguing about his weight with his teammates. So he's in good spirits and constant communication and collaboration with his teammates. So he's doing well. Nothing has changed from Micah. He's an elite defensive player and will continue to create opportunities for him. He also creates opportunities for others, so the outlook has not changed.
A lot of facts dropped there by McCarthy on that. Remember, the big question about this is the bulking up, but also the fact that he wasn't with the Cowboys the first couple of weeks of these OTAs, when the coaches couldn't speak with the players. The players could only speak with the workout with the offseason workout trainers and those weight training guys. So that's all they can speak. Now, Micah was doing specialized training in Austin with others. With Jamar Chases and Deuce Vaughns, and sometimes Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks out there boxing. So you see all these guys out there doing their thing, and I think that is that's the worry for a lot of people was like, oh, he's not going to really be talkative and cohesive with his teammates because he's out there doing his own thing. No, come on. Micah's the man. Micah's the leader. And by the way, I do have to bring up Micah again here for a second because I did post a video yesterday or 2 days ago, on Micah Parsons doing. We know he's boxing out there. We know he's hitting the boxing bags and he's out there training for endurance. I'm assuming in endurance, that's a big deal there to be able to last the whole season. I'm assuming that's why he's doing a lot of the boxing technique stuff. But he wasn't alone yesterday, baby. He was there with Brandon Cooks, our brand new wide receiver. He had the boxing gloves on. He was also training. So was Stephon Gilmore, our brand new cornerback. Both guys acquired with fifth rounders this year. I mean, I'm just saying, getting in work in Allen, Texas, I think, with the boxing, Austin, Texas, when it comes to the weight, putting on the weight training. So again, this was a T-Mac elite training, Tony Mac. So again, they are out there working hard, and again, it's great to see Micah. See what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is he's you see him with Deuce, you see him with a rookie, you see him with these other guys that are new to our team. Micah is a leader of this team. He's the face of this team. I believe he is. I don't care if people think it's Dak or whoever they want to put on there, but Micah is the Cowboys right now. That's our identity is defense. We showed that when we drafted, and we showed that with free agency and signing our own guys on defense. We showed that with Dan Quinn. Our team is not about offense. We want great offense, but it's about this team is not about blocking. It's not about the offensive line like used to be our identity. Our identity is defense, and Micah Parsons is the face of that. And he's connecting new guys, rookies, veterans, current guys. And he's doing that on and off, on campus and off campus. That's what Micah is eats, sleeps, and doesn't stop thinking football his whole life, off season. That's why you got to give it up to Micah. One last thing about Micah Parsons: pass rush win rates since he entered the league in 2021. Myles Garrett, 25.6% pass rush win rate. It edges out Micah, who had a 24% win rate. So by 1.6%. Myles Garrett had a little bit better pass rush win rate in the last 2 years. Nick Bosa, 21.9, TJ Watt, 19.4. So you could say this, in the last 2 years, the best pure pass rusher in the NFL, Myles Garrett. Right? I mean, you by 1.6% when it comes to pass rushing efficiency. But you could also make a case for Nick Bosa, right, who is the most well-rounded edge defender, stopping the run and adding pressure and attacking the quarterback, right? So he's to me the best well-rounded guy here. But Micah Parsons is the most unique. He's the one that can play 2, 3, 4 different positions and dominate and be elite in all of them, unlike these other guys I just mentioned. They can't play no damn linebacker. They can't play left and right side a lot of the time. So Micah is the most unique, dominant pass rusher in the NFL. He was drafted as a linebacker.
Micah is special.
For sure. So anyway, I just want to throw that in there as you spoke about Micah and McCarthy's comments about that. Go ahead, baby, hit it up, because I know we talk about this, let's go to the offensive side. Because McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer, I know a lot of they're gonna speak the same Dak language. They're gonna do a couple other things with Michael Gallup, trying to get him more opportunities. What's the deal with as far as what's the plan with at least McCarthy and really Brian Schottenheimer, offensive coordinator, trying to get Michael Gallup more opportunities to be successful on the inside?
Yeah, McCarthy said Michael, as in Gallup, is very important. I think the thing is, Michael, and I know he wants it too, is he just wants to have a healthy season. He's been through these injuries here. He looks good. I think this is the first time in my time here he's had a full off-season program, so yeah, he's very important. And thank you, Jason, with that well-timed dollar holler there.
Yeah.
The classic Go Cowboys.
You know it. Go Cowboys, Jason Renfro, and he is, I think, still in third by by 1, I think, and back on first place by 3. So it's a battle here at the top spot. Mark's back to 78 points on the Stream Boss. Much love to Jason Renfro, repping that navy blue silver, and always that star for everything.
So McCarthy was also asked, besides, health, like what can Gallup give you that he wasn't giving you before, specifically last year? McCarthy said, quote, "I don't know if it hasn't been able to show as it is the opportunities. Just conversations we've had, particularly with Schottenheimer, giving him some opportunities inside, expanding his responsibility checklist. He's pretty much been exclusive in the X receivers here. We feel like he can do more." So there's, we're not really in that mode right now, but those are the kind of things that after we get through this install phase, we'll really kind of detail it and add, subtract, get everything good to go in training camp. I then think you'll see some of those opportunities.
So again, it just sounds like they're really going to try to move Michael Gallup a little bit more around in the slot. So again, first time a full off-season program. It's important, right? Giving him opportunities inside. That's the key. Giving him opportunities inside and expanding his route tree. So this is an interesting little step forward for Michael Gallup. He's going to have to take that step forward for to be successful in this offense. A lot of pressure there, and again, if he does not, then he might be out. Who knows, right? With Gallup, I do love this. I do like this a lot, the fact that he is going to be moved around this upcoming season. They've tried to do it before. It hasn't really happened. It is a chance, but you have if he's able to be successful, at least doing that some of the time, that means you're going to get a huge amount of a bonus flex ability from your 1, 2, and 3 receivers. So it sounds like that's what, I'm going to throw him up on the screen here. Let me see. Here he is. Well, of course, there's McCarthy, but behind McCarthy, you see him right over, peeking over his shoulder. There's Brian Schottenheimer. I think that's what Brian Schottenheimer is trying to do this year, is really pull a very, kind of a lot of moving pieces, a lot of flex, not in the way that like Mark said, as far as the negative part of the flex on the offensive line to me, but more about flexing guys that can do 2 or 3 things as a down the field, making a catch, whatever it may be, like, coming out the backfield. I'll discuss more of these guys in a minute, but I do think that is Schottenheimer's trying to get, Gallup and these 3 receivers to be able to move anywhere on the field at any moment, at any time, to then, win on mismatches. So we'll see if that works. They tried to do it in the past with Gallup, didn't work. We'll see if it works this time. So, again, that's what your comment there was, yeah. I think I think you went through the whole thing, so you read that. Yeah. So that was interesting. That was all about Schottenheimer, but McCarthy continued. I know he wasn't done.
Yeah, so he did also touch on the fact that he's been very impressed with how professional Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore have been since they've been added officially to our team. Adding in their quote, "Brandon's been great. 2 excellent veterans. Just their veteran experience and their ability to speak for itself. They've been everything we thought they would be. The professionalism is top notch. They both have made impacts in their position rooms. And obviously, me being with the offense and being around Brandon is just so happy he's here. They both have made an impact already."
First and foremost, he's going to be loving getting another receiver to his crew there. Because that's what McCarthy's running offense. He wants offensive help to help his options out there and different things he has planned for the scheme. But yeah, I mean, both these guys have made major impacts already. I'll talk about it in a minute. First, let's talk about Jason Renfro and that $2 holler, that J-Lou 2. Much love to Mr. Jason Renfro, because he just jumped into second place, I think, on the overall board. Yep, right behind Marco Sepien in first. What did the man say?
"We're finally going to get a 100% Dak this year. Go Cowboys."
Hell yeah, it feels good, right? Finally, feels great to hopefully have no tweak on the shoulder, no tweak on the leg, no coming back from the broken leg. All that stuff is now hopefully forever in the rearview mirror. That's the hope.
Oh, yes.
But as far as this, baby, I wanted to come back and talk about this. Much love to you, Jason Renfro, by the way. Marco Sepien is 76 points. Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore are going to be difference makers for this season. I do believe that I spoke on this. I know we have Brandon Cooks for 2 years and Gilmore for 1 year. But again, guys, I think the best thing that comes out of this is we got, again, on top of their ability, that's number one, their ability. Guys like Stephon Gilmore, All right, he's got ability. It matches Trayvon Diggs on the other side at cornerback. We'll talk about that a lot more detail in the future. But also, when you have and I wish I could find Brandon Cooks. I'll let you know. Here he is. And then you got Brandon Cooks, who again for someone like Mike McCarthy, it's going to add another weapon to this offense. So the fact that they're veterans, and again, the plays on the field is one thing, but I think it's their veteran leadership which is going to help these rooms. Think about it. Cornerbacks, yeah, Trayvon Diggs is our number one guy. Jordan Lewis is our oldest cornerback. Well, now Stephon Gilmore's the leader of that pack. Also, look at the receiver room. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's the guy, but Brandon Cooks is the veteran, 10 years. So honestly, that's major.
I really like this scenario just because it feels... Man, I just had it. And Mark's drop here kind of diverted my attention here with the $5 holiday.
Well, we'll talk about the veterans. We'll get back to them. But much love to Mark with that 5 on it. Yeah, and he's back in first. He stays in first place right now, baby.
Yes. No, it's just about the type of depth that we have at these positions when it comes to, the things that Cooks and obviously Gilmore bring to the table. Like McCarthy said, they just give you that peace of mind. And it's not just because, they're good players or whatever. Right. They do bring something of an element of seriousness, right? Like, it feels like
it's
tell that we're taking it seriously.
It's no more walking on eggshells.
Something about
you can trust these guys.
Feels like we're making a bigger investment into the team. It's like, I don't know. It's that self-fulfilling cycle. If you believe in the team, they'll believe in themselves, and then they'll actually
but also
rise up to those
I think the
beliefs.
Coaches and the other players around them, their teammates, can also trust in them because they've proven it. They're veterans. They've done it before, and that's why it's important not just to say what they got to say as leaders in the rooms, right, in the locker room, or in the position room, but also what they got to show. They show on the field out there, and that brings the other players along with them. So it leads the way for them. By the way, we got the man Mark Hovsepian dropping another 1, 2, 3, 4. You know it, 5 on it. Stays in first place. What did the man say?
If Smith is injured, Tyler moves to tackle. But then who plays guard? Farniok? If we keep Tyler at guard, then who plays tackle? Well, let's go or ball.
And that
from suckage to solid backups? Clowns.
That's hey, Mark, when he says it and he hits it out the ballpark, when it's 100% clown show, you know what we do here. We got to do it. Boom. It's the clown show, guys. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, they are in delusion land when it comes to the left guard spot. I don't know what the plan is. I'm going to blame McCarthy. His hands are tied. But it's up to these guys to get the right guys, in here. These guys talk about bringing in competition at every position. What about left guard? Don't give me just 10 guys that are barely making the team. Give me a couple good guys with those 10 other shitty guys. That makes this actually a viable battle, not just the battle of the crap. And the guy who wins that, okay, he's still crap. Fans get fooled. The clown show knows that they can keep doing that. So I hear you. I hear you, Mark. I hear you. Trust me, I hear you. I hear you so much. You know I hear you. So appreciate the drop, man. By the way, baby, he's at the 81 points, and he's in first place still on this board. So appreciate that, Mark.
I did want to touch on Seabass's comment super quick, just super straightforward. He said, I have to ask, if our 3 wideouts, if one of them would get injured, Lamb, Gallup, Cooks, could Dallas bounce back? And again, timing matters here, right? The situation on the injury. If we're missing one of those guys for a handful of weeks, almost in a Dak Prescott-esque situation, right, where it's like a 4 to 6 week injury at the most, I think we'd be able to find a way around it. But like I said, the timing of it matters as well. If it happens during, let's say, our toughest stretch of games, that's going to hurt a lot more than it would if it happens, let's say, like just week 3. Not to say that our beginning schedule, that the earlier part of our schedule is somehow weaker, but we all know what would happen if we lose one of our top guys during a stretch of basically 3 games in 12, days, 3 games within like a 12-day span or some crazy thing like that.
Yeah,
that
or those games like Eagles and then Buffalo. You know what I'm saying, like in Miami, you lose those guys, or the schedule you go Chargers and Niners. Those are the ones.
Yeah, but again, that's why Cooks is so important. Again, I do believe we'd be able to manage. Would we be great? Probably not. Would we be able to manage? we can get by.
Well, and I do want to kind of finish with saying with Marco Sepian's drop there, I'm with you. That's my big issue. What are we going to do at that guard spot? We'll talk more what they got. We know what they showed us today. But keep this in mind, Mark. There's still time. I don't know what the Cowboys are planning, but it cannot be Farniok and Ball playing left guard. Like, it can't be, even when Tyler Smith. It just can't be. And if that's the case, we're in big trouble. I like, out of everybody in the backup spots, as far as tackle, I really like, outside of course, the three guys, the Terrence Steele, Tyler Smith, and Tyron Smith, I like Willetsko leading the pack out of all those other guys. I think he has the biggest upside, but I don't trust him as a starter for 15 games. It just can't. Give me 2 games, and maybe I can see some trust in him if he did well in offseason, training camp, and preseason games. Then I can say, all right, maybe for a game, half a game or something like that. But come on, trusting these guys for 4, 5, 6, 7 games, forget it. That's a recipe for disaster. And we could have solved this. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, we didn't have to struggle through this. We don't have to struggle through this and trip over our feet for this. This could have been resolved. If the Cowboys would just drafted, for now, just say Osiris Torrance. He was there. Maybe.
Very, very good point.
The man Marco Sepian making, I'm sure, a couple points here with that 5 on it. The $5 holla.
Woo, thank
First
you,
place,
Mark.
he's rocking it, adding more points to his stream boss. What did the man say?
Consider Farniok is our best backup guard.
Oof.
It's like saying an 80-year-old gal is your best hoe. I guess if you need a hoe, the 80-year-old would do it in a pinch.
Oh, shit. Look, I'm trying to think who's our best. Is Farniok really our best interior? He's our best backup center. Maybe Lindstrom. I don't know. And when it comes to the guard, I mean, our best guard.
You gotta remember, maybe there are some people out there who prefer their hoes a little more well seasoned. And
it's Jerry Jones, obviously.
Maybe you gotta consider that at least the Cowboys, are fine with some of the things that they're doing now.
Jerry Jones wants, again, he's like 80, right? He wants a 130-year-old hoe. That's what he's showing us when he's bringing in, Farniok and Ball to come in there and help us save the day. We're done if that happens. So, I just want to say, I'm going to talk about it. There's one name I'm holding back. Now, guys, I know I love TJ Bass as a future guy, maybe develops into something as a depth guard. But there's another guy I think that today at least showed something out there. Again, no pads, no real physicality, but first round pick, Mozzie Smith, having trouble with one of our offensive linemen. We'll talk about it. Again, I don't think it's about Mozzie. I think it's about something else. I'll discuss it in a minute. Now, before we keep it going here, baby, remind everybody what they got to do here to keep the stream going. Keep our channel going. You know how it goes.
Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and make sure to hop in the Discord as well. The link for that is in the description box down below. And an extra special shout out to the sponsor of the week / the Cash App King, David S. Appreciate you, much love. And by the way, Mr. Marco Sepian, he actually re-upped himself to 86 points.
Boom.
On the stream
that's his favorite guy right there, Luke Schoonmaker, his new number. Oof.
Oh, so there you go. Real quick, let me go ahead and kind of keep it rolling, my love. Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah,
because I still have a few things that McCarthy has touched on that we haven't touched on yet.
Well, I know. Oh, I'm sorry, and I know I'm actually going to throw out there one last thing, and before you go, actually, I think you actually have the quote about Zeke as we're leaving like the offense here, but behind here, kind of going to turn maybe a little more toward. Well, I want to talk about the whole game plan, really. But
yeah, McCarthy wore his favorite crop top today to practice. Jokes aside, he was asked, do you think you've done a decent job replacing Zeke? And as soon as I'm done reading this comment, I'll shout out Marco Sepian.
All right, hit it up, baby.
$5 holiday.
You got that 5 on it.
But McCarthy said, quote, "I don't think you just go out and replace Zeke. I've never viewed it that way. Business, cap economies, that's real. You make decisions, and sometimes the decisions definitely factor in the next decision or two that's coming down the road. We were just doing short yardage and goal line last night, and he just jumps off the tape. This really isn't about replacing Zeke. It's really about opportunities for the young guys. Tony's opportunity to be the lead back. We're just deciding all those guys. We're just getting all those guys ready. Deuce is the new guy. it's been cool to see him implemented into the things we've been doing here the last week. And the group will look different because his presence is not there anymore.
So, again, it sounds like it's good and bad almost in a way. Like, it sounded like he's saying, I love what Zeke did in short yardage. It's hard to replace. But at the same time, we got new guys, and he's excited about how they're going to work in our system, which is going to look different without Zeke there. So, I mean, I think that's the layman's way of saying what he just said.
I know, but then it cracks me up because then he goes into a lot of detail explaining just that. So, anyway,
now we got
real quick, let me go ahead. Yes, touch on Mark Hovsepian's $5 holler. Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate you. And he said, "What's mind-boggling is Dak is injury-prone. We had a bad ranked O-line, and you trust that line to protect a $40 million QB? I don't like 80-year-old hoes, but 60 would be okay."
He's just saying, give us something a little more than 7th-round pick Matt Farniok. Give us something a little more than busted ball. I'm just saying, like, I'm with you, man. I'm 1,000% with Mark Hovsepian. We've been screaming. Basically, we're echo chambering here because we're both saying the same thing. I agree. It scares me. That's the thing. That's the one thing, and you'll hear me bitch about this in the playoffs. But that's what the one thing that's going to be like. It's going to bite us in the ass.
Yeah,
and then people will say, "Well, why didn't we fix it?" Well, this is why. This is what we're talking about.
Our front office, like, purposely trying to be a little bit cute there, I will admit, is a little bit bizarre. Just because, like you said, do you really trust that offensive line, to protect Dak Prescott? And as of now, if
not in that guard spot.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, not necessarily at this moment. But I also understand why McCarthy / front office / all the coaches, right? Like, of course they're going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya, everything's peachy keen, when it comes to our O-line situation. It's not like they're going to say, oh, yeah, no, we're fucked.
Of course, that's as we say that here. We started this a year and a half ago or so. That's the clown show. That's the clown show, plain and simple. Anyways, let's keep it rolling here, baby, with more of what McCarthy said. This is interesting. Now we're getting to the play calling, and we're going to get to Dak here, and then the OTAs, and we're wrapping it up. But McCarthy said that new quarterback coach Scott Tolzien, he's built for this job, says McCarthy. All right. And, again, remember, guys, no more Doug Nussmeier. Scott Tolzien was a quarterback assistant coach last year.
How is one built like a QB coach?
Well, he's now moved into that QB coach role, maybe just to learn how to be like, because Nussmeier is a tight end coach / offensive coordinator more than ever a tight end coach. That was the Garrett workings there. So McCarthy said Tolzien is built for the job. He said he would like to study. He likes to study more than anyone. At least his time of knowing him back in 2013, 14, and 2015 when they were both with the Packers. So you take it away, baby. What's the full context of this? Because we're no more Kellen Moore, no more Doug Nussmeier. So how much of a change is there now with Scott Tolzien?
McCarthy said, quote, "I wouldn't say it's a transition. I would say it's a continuation because the quarterback room is obviously a critical room in your coaching operations as far as the design of it, the responsibility. And really, it's no different than it was in the early 90s. The way I view it, the way we define it, job description, responsibility, and the quarterback coach, it's a very important component of that. Probably maybe one of the most important. Because the quarterback coach does the heavy lifting, and that's just the way I've always set it up. It's the way I was fortunate to go through when I was a quarterback coach. So all the extra time on the phone that you spend communicating with your quarterbacks, it's just the little things. Because and Scott was built for this. He was the quarterback as a player that if everyone was averaging 150 minutes on his iPad, Scott was at 480. So just the way that he's wired, and he has a magnetic personality. Schottenheimer has a great personality. The way that room is structured is really similar to the way I've done it, and in my past experience, it's just a little different with Kellen and Doug. But I just look at it as a continuation of what's already been established. But the quarterback position is something we give a lot of focus to. Brian and myself and Scott are in there a majority of the time, but Scott is doing a tremendous job so far.
So what do you think about that?
That's a very long-winded way of McCarthy saying he's doing a great job so far.
I think McCarthy needed to get guys that are, kind of his guy. Like he wanted to. It's different dealing with Doug Nussmeier and Kellen Moore. Why do you think? I mean, I'm going to give you. It's going to be one picture. I'm going to put it on the screen, but it's this guy, and that's my boy Cowboy Thomas. But it's Jason Garrett. It's Jason Garrett. It's Jason Garrett guys. Those guys are both from the Garrett days. Now he got two guys that are not Garrett Day guys anymore. They got Tolson, who's a low-key quarterback coach. Got the right personality for the quarterback room. But you got yourself, Schottenheimer, who's underneath McCarthy running the show on offense. And I think that is he's trying to say it's a major difference, but I see the difference. The difference is it's not the Garrett guys anymore. These are I would say more McCarthy-like guys. These are the McCarthy kind of guys he wants for these kind of jobs with him running the show on offense. That's what I get from this. But great long comment there, baby. Not by you, but by McCarthy. Now, McCarthy, I will say this. McCarthy reiterated, they're not burning the playbook right now. They're not getting rid of the existing playbook that Kellen Moore ran. The language is still going to be similar.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that based on McCarthy's earlier comments from a few weeks ago, expect something like 30% of offensive change. Which
30 to 35.
You're not throwing the whole baby out the bathwater for 30%.
Right. So McCarthy said that the language is going to stay the same. McCarthy said the consistency with the offense and the change at coordinator with Brian Schottenheimer is not going to be as bad as people think. Why? He said, quote, we're still in Dak's language. 2020 was trying to figure out who we wanted to be. But I think the evolution from 2021 and 2022 is what we want to continue to build off of. So, again, this is about, keeping things as consistent as possible since the day he came in, even if there's some pieces missing now, like we just discussed with Kellen Moore, Nussmeier, is still keeping some of those pieces, but they're adding their tweaks, whether it's through coaching, scheme, or installation, which is what McCarthy is doing now. So the other thing that McCarthy kind of talked upon when it came to play calling was McCarthy. He loves PCP. He loves some PCP. I mean, he overindulges in PCP when it comes to playing football. When it comes to coaching football, he loves just PCP night and day. So how much time, he was asked, how much time have you spent with Dak Prescott this year compared to other years?
So he said, more than obviously in the past. So frankly, we're just not enough. It's never enough. I'm here right now and I'm missing the damn quarterback meeting. I've got to look at your hat and all this nonsense stuff that I have to deal with. But no, absolutely. It's important and I'm not really worried about the football part of it. Everyday football as far as the drills, the game, I'm able to, it's more the collaboration, calling a game. Hey, this is how I see the play.
There's a thing called PCP. He's going to mention it now, but it's not what you think. Go ahead, baby.
This is how I think. We got a thing called PCP, and really just the purpose of the play call. Play call purpose, PCP.
That's what it stands for, guys.
It's one thing to learn the play and the intricacies of the play, but when you continue to know and anticipate when and where it's going to be called, I think that's just stronger communication and connection that a quarterback and play caller need to have.
So it's about McCarthy to Dak, the connection, the play calling, kind of like knowing what they're kind of on the same page on everything, and knowing what's going to happen in the play, even if you're not part of that play. So I hear what McCarthy's saying. I mean that to me kind of let me put that in. That to me kind of wraps up the McCarthy conversation. Yeah. I think it does there.
Yeah, we touched on everything that he's touched on so far.
Very interesting. I do like what I heard there. But Dak also spoke today. And actually, a lot of this kind of ricochets off of what McCarthy said. So before we get to the OTAs, let me just quickly fly through what Dak Prescott said today. First and foremost, Dak Prescott, when it comes to the PFF, Pro Football Focus, the analytical kind of rankings, per Sam Monson, he has the top 5 NFC quarterbacks. Number 1, Jalen Hurts. Number 2, Kirk Cousins. Mm-hmm. And number 3, Dak Prescott. Number 4, Matthew Stafford. And number 5, Derek Carr. I mean, Kirk Cousins, really? I think we swept them like the last 3 years, didn't we? Dak, Cooper Rush, whoever. I'm just saying. Anyways, there's that stat there that shows Dak's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. Not the East, the NFC. But people say, well, he has a lot of turnovers, right? Turnovers in one-score games over the last 3 years. Next-gen stats. Number 1 in the NFL. Let me put it this way. Number 4 in the NFL in the last 3 years when it comes to turnovers in one-score games. You're blowing games here. Dak is the 4th worst. Dak has 28 turnovers when the game was a one-score game. Saints, Derek Carr is second with 29. I'm sorry, third. Third worst. Second worst, Chargers Justin Herbert with 30. And the worst quarterback at giving up the ball when it's a one-score game, Josh Allen from the Bills. I'm just saying, there's a lot of names up here. Derek Carr,
I would say not exactly who I expected to see on there, but sure.
That's my point, though. A lot of people say these guys. A lot of people say Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. These are the next best thing out there, right? They got a lot. They say had more turnovers when it's a one-score game than Dak Prescott. I'm not trying to say it's good, but I'm just trying to say a lot of quarterbacks, when they're trying to make something happen, things happen sometimes, right? Good ones or bad ones, and all these guys are, I'd say, above average on these quarterbacks. So top, to almost maybe top 5 guys, right? Now Dak, he spoke today, and he was asked about the changes with Mike McCarthy now when it comes to calling plays for Dak Prescott. He said, quote, "There are some changes. It's not like we're going to throw away our entire playbook and try to start over or anything like that. Obviously, we've had some success. There is good there." And he continued by saying, quote, "The game is definitely going to be called a little bit different now. But again, we know it's going to be called differently. It's going to sound differently for him. But it's still going to be a lot of the similarities we discussed already." And Dak even spoke about Michael Gallup, one full season removed from that ACL injury. Dak Prescott said, quote, "Michael is starting to come back into that Michael Gallup, who he is, who Michael Gallup is, and feel himself. That's a guy that I've got a lot of trust in. He's getting his feet under him, and he's going to be better." So, again, Dak, big shout-outs there to Michael Gallup and seeing what he's producing on the field. Now, we also got big shout-outs for Jason Renfro.
Jason.
The 1-2 on it there, the $2 holler, the J-Lou 2. And what did the man say?
With the WCO, it moves faster with less injuries.
West Coast offense. And remember, moves faster, that means we have a high, what is that? Like moving down the field fast. That's one of Dak's, like, things that he feeds off of. I forgot the name of it. High, I forgot. But
yeah, I was going to say, I can't remember the word right now. But
it's not, the play calling.
It plays into Dak's strengths, obviously, just keeping the offense moving faster. And again, it will reduce injuries. And specifically, since we just touched on this, not that long ago, Dak Prescott, right? We want to keep Dak safe. If we know that the O-line situation is going to be maybe, still being worked out.
That's why West Coast offense.
Keeping things moving fast, make sure that hopefully less people have the chance and the time to get hands on Dak.
That's the big thing about getting that ball out quick.
Forward progression, said Seabass.
No, actually, no. Pioneer had it. Tempo. High tempo. High tempo is where Dak is off the charts. I think he's great. And high tempo for him is going to be automatic almost sometimes in the West Coast offense. So West Coast offense going to be, if it's a faster, you're going to maybe reduce some injuries, also reduce the chances of Dak getting hit because there's less time for him to hold that ball. And West Coast, you can get the ball out quick. So these things combined together here, and automatic high tempo you're going to get from your offense when you're doing West Coast style offenses at times. All these things should help this offense, even with the deficiencies. But still, we had a chance to still solidify things without have to worry about, what happens when Tyron Smith goes down. So, the last thing Dak said, if I'm not mistaken here, was about the play calling again, and it was a longer quote. So, I think the wife has this one. But basically, Dak with the new play caller in his ear for the first time since 2018. Mike McCarthy, of course, taking over for Kellen Moore as the play caller. Dak Prescott's trying to get used to McCarthy's, believe it or not, baby, trying to get used to McCarthy's Pittsburgh dialect. And you have it there. There you go. So what do you have to say about this, baby, my love?
He said, "It's different. I'll tell you, you hear that accent a little bit more when he's calling these plays. He called one out there today, and I look back and I go, was it the right one? Yeah, it was. It's just that his accent was tough to hear. No, it's been fun. Being able to work with him in that light, every day, hands-on, it's exciting. It's refreshing. I know he's enjoying it, getting back into football, head first into the film and what we're doing, so it's exciting for sure." I have to admit, I don't think I've ever realized that McCarthy had a particular Pittsburgh accent.
It might be speaking in front of on the podium in front of people. I think you might not hear it as much, but when he's just like normal tone, talking quick on the speaker, it's like 3, 4, blue 6-3.
It's more like I said. It's more about the fact that for me, it just sounds normal. You know what I mean? I don't particularly think of McCarthy as having an accent, just because, again, to me,
you're from PA,
that's why I said, I'm like, to me, it's like, oh, that's normal, that's fine. So I'm like, why is Dak having a hard time with that? And I forget, Dak's from the Loop, so Louisiana.
Yeah. So now that we are kind of corralled that side of things, now let's get to the actual practice, guys, and that to me, we'll take McCarthy off here, and we're gonna put up a little visual help here for you guys as I kind of go through this. So baby, I want you to tell me what you think. Hit the chat. I'm going to roll through this as fast as I can, but there's a lot to talk about. So let's do this. Now, you're going to see at the bottom, the video I put out earlier has all the different pictures and views of what went down. I'm going to get into more comments and thoughts about this as we kick it off with McCarthy, and you're going to see the players getting in there, stretching and all that good stuff. The Cowboys today concluded their second OTA practice and the first one of the spring open to the media. In recent years, guys, we've seen, of course, we already know about the way he's handling this practice. Not a lot of competition stuff going on. We knew this already. A jog through. McCarthy scales back the script for today, for the practices. Less competitive work, of course. A lot slower pace. Little bit move. Very little move. When you look at the big picture, nobody lost a job today or won a job today. No injuries. That's the best thing. But you see injuries on your screen there. Two guys, 78 and 20 on that field. Now, Cowboy players who were not in the field, not at all. Trayvon Diggs. And that's one that, okay, what's going on? A lot of people said, well, is it a contract situation? It is not contract related. But it just seems like it's a personal day or something. Who knows? Not sure what it is, but I'm sure we'll hear about this tomorrow or the next day. DeMarcus Lawrence, probably a vet day. Not on the field. Malik Hooker, probably a vet day. Jordan Lewis, probably a vet day. I mean, isn't he coming back from an injury as well? I know he's probably good to go, but I know Jonathan Hankins. I seen him work out on the field the other day, doing great stuff on his own, right? From a couple weeks ago, he had a vet day, and that's a good thing. He needs vet days. Brian Anger was not on the field today. No punting today, so vet day for him. But really, all these reasons are varying. We don't really know what it is yet. But again, I want to reiterate, Trayvon Diggs' absence, not contract related. That's great news. Obviously, we want to see that. Two other guys later on as the practice continued were not out there. Zach Martin and edge rusher Dante Fowler did not practice. They did enter the field later on though, and then they watched in street clothes. So now. Trayvon Diggs, I just want to go back to him for a minute. You guys watched our videos here, shorts that we put up there. Trayvon Diggs locked down his brother Stephon Diggs in a charity basketball game, celebrity basketball game. So that defense on the basketball court, he had good movement. There's Trayvon from yesterday with Gilmore, 21-7. I love it. So corners locking shit down. But Trayvon Diggs, guys, doing great stuff. Just throughout the offseason, whatever the reason he wasn't there today. He was there yesterday, though. He was there on Monday. So now Trayvon Diggs only has 4 DPI penalties, defensive pass interference penalties. Trayvon Diggs, 4 defensive pass interference penalties in 45 games. That's his entire career. Only 4 pass interference penalties. We don't talk about that enough. That's roughly one every 11 games. For a ball-hawking, physical cornerback that has 17 interceptions, in that same 45 game span, that's numbers that jump off the board. That's why people put him down. But I think Trayvon is a top 5 cornerback, and you can even compare him to guys like AJ Terrell, a fantastic cornerback from the 2020 class. He has 2 more defensive pass interferences in the same number of starts, but he also has 13 fewer interceptions. I'll take Trayvon Diggs twice on Sunday, baby. You know the deal. So. Just want to throw that out there so people understand that Trayvon Diggs is the man, and you got Gilmore out there with them. Ooh-wee. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what Marco Seppian had to say, because he just dropped that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it and put 94 points back on that board for him. He's 6 away from fully loading himself there, and he's in first place currently on the overall board. What did the man say?
Dak if you can understand some of your teammates, you can understand Coach. Jerry Jones thinks Dak is his guy. Why does he not sign him? Clown show signing.
And that's what happened in the beginning. Remember what happened in the beginning? He's our franchise quarterback. That's Jerry Jones said that. And then it took him 3 years to sign him. And another one by Marco Seppia breaking the board here as Dak slides in for the end zone. Boom. We were at that game, baby. That's our footage against the Falcons when we beat them 2 years ago. But anyways, Marco Seppia with another 5 on it, back-to-back style. What did he have to say?
Thank you, Mark. He said, time for me to go home. A 23-year-old hoe is waiting for me. Wait, Mr. MCF, let me use your language. It's time to play the flute, or in my case, the turtle time. Aloha. So first of all, Mark, mahalo to you. Yes. Appreciate you. I hope you enjoy all the fun activities that I'm sure are waiting for you at home.
All the funs. Much love to you, Mark. Appreciate you. Hey, he's leaving here with 99 points on that stream, boss. One away from fully loaded. So appreciate him as always. Mark.
Playing an instrument is supposed to be really good for you.
Yeah, I'm not a big instrument player. You know, I mean, I play the bearded Clint. No, I'm just okay. Sorry, baby. Go ahead. You can hit up the another comment for that one.
No, that's it. We're done. Good night, guys. Have a great night. Take it easy. Go Cowboys. Just kidding. We actually do have more Cowboy things.
Just a couple things, not that much more, I promise. But it is important nonetheless. So as we go into these notes and what went down today, guys, I mean, number one, OTA practice. I'm going to try to break it down like the whole practice here. So roll with me, but it's important. Good showing from the cornerbacks, just in this first roundabout walkthrough day. Gilmore is sliding and looking good in that position. He kind of got beat the other day by Gallup on the first practice day, but today he locked it down and knocked the ball out of Gallup's hands and others' hands. So Gilmore locking it down on the outside. You saw bursts and you saw improvement. You saw a little bit of kind of springy, bouncy feels from Michael Gallup. I love to hear that. You got Deuce Vaughn looking great out there, cutting and sliding. Brandon Cooks also looking very efficient, very good out there. Not a lot from the trenches. You can't see much on the offensive and defensive line really, but you have an offensive line rotation going on. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Not everyone's favorite, and again, that's because we didn't have Zach Martin, and who the hell is our left guard, right? So we'll talk about that in a little bit. DeMarcus Ware, baby, this is important. DeMarcus Ware was out there on the field. We knew he was going to come and work with the Cowboy defense. Yeah. He's out there working with Micah Parsons one-on-one. After Micah bulked up for pass rushing reasons, now Micah's working with DeMarcus Ware I'm going to say he's a celebrity coach, but my point is that he's an additional coach. He's going to volunteer to help out the defensive line in some things, and who else better than to help work out with our best defensive player and maybe the best in the league with Micah Parsons. So it's great to see Micah working with that 255 less-ish, that range frame at the pass rushing side of things. Great to see that in this practice. Kelvin Joseph, baby. I'm going to talk about him. Number one. He's number one. I'm not saying number one, but he's number one. Spent most of the practice with the safety group and then slid into the slot cornerback spot. And was very good. I'll get back to that in a minute. Deuce Vaughn, he had a great 45-yard catch down the field from Will Grier. During the 7-on-7 matchups, the ball was underthrown by Will Grier. But Deuce Vaughn, man, he's fantastic. He worked back and scooped it up before he hit the turf. So Deuce Vaughn showing his abilities out there. What about Kevontae Turpin? He was the only guy getting the returns today.
Okay.
But he also got a lot of reps as a wide receiver. A lot of reps as a wide receiver on offense. So the Cowboys showing this because they just want to kind of fool us, or they're doing this because they're actually going to utilize him on offense, unlike last year. We'll see.
I think it's a bit of both. I think we'll definitely see a little bit more.
But not as much as maybe
but definitely not as much as maybe the Cowboys are insinuating.
Remember, guys, temper all expectations because this is just the first little practice. Both these, it's just nothing really is being decided here. I got more snaps than another guy means nothing. Cowboys, by the way, also didn't have full use of their indoor Ford Center field today at the Star. There was a high school commencement stage getting set up in one end of the end zone. It's great to see Dak throwing the ball, and behind him is this big setup. It was people in these guards like blocking anybody from going by there.
Our Cowboys are graduating too.
So as you look at these observations from today, listen to this, baby. Again, less competitive work than ever before. So let's take it for what it is, grain of sand. But as I put this back up, I'll plop up the video again. In the biggest competitive period, the most competitive period, it was a 2-minute drill. without offensive lineman or defensive lineman, Dak Prescott hit his first 8 passes of that drive to get inside the red zone. But then he missed. He had a bad pass to Jake Ferguson. That was an easy touchdown at the back of the pylon. Dak fucked up. So, that's what practice is for, guys. Keep that in mind. On the next play, Stephon Gilmore disrupted the throw to the end zone from Dak to Michael Gallup. So great job by Stephon Gilmore breaking up this pass to Gallup. And the final play of that drive was a miscommunication, unfortunately, with CeeDee Lamb. That, again, we talked about him trying to run his routes better. CeeDee Lamb had a miscommunication that had Dak Prescott, Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb all discussing and kind of talking afterwards in a huddle.
Basically trying to figure out
who was at fault.
What went wrong.
Again, guys, don't think the season's over. I hear some Cowboy fans say, it's over. Guys, this is why they practice. Every team is doing this right now.
Last time I checked, the whole point of practice was
to make mistakes.
Having a space to fuck up where you can go and correct those mistakes.
Day 1, guys. By day 13, this shit ain't happening. And definitely not as often. Trayvon Diggs, of course, like I said, not the workout, but Nashawn Wright was the guy on the opposite side of Stephon Gilmore. So if that gives you who's our third outside cornerback? Right now, Nashawn Wright. He gets the first spot there. He's the guy behind Diggs for now. Stephon Gilmore, of course, was on the other side. I told you, he had a great play against Gallup. Deron Bland was, of course, the start. He was playing. He was the slot corner. So that tells me he's got a slight edge there over Jordan Lewis coming into this year, which I think is where it should be. Kelvin Joseph also was working the slot as a defensive player there. So that's great to see there. He had a pass breakup, Kelvin Joseph. Started with the safeties, Mukuamu, Donovan Wilson, Curse. Malik Hooker wasn't out there. But he started in the safety group and did the warm-ups with them. And then went to the cornerback slot position and played there. Interesting to see what's going on. Just keep an eye on that. You see some of the pictures there. You see Joe Witt Jr. talking to him. I know McCarthy spoke about this. Dan Quinn's brainchild here and Joe Witt Jr. They're going to be working on this going forward. So keep an eye on Kelvin Joseph in the slot as a pseudo safety kind of corner mix hybrid. We'll see what happens. I'm excited as we look at our defense there. That was from yesterday's picture, by the way, in case you're wondering. Passing game coordinator Joe Witt Jr., like I said, was back on the field full-time coaching. He was unable to spend a lot of time in the field last year. Remember that? At this time, he had a medical condition. He had to leave for a little bit. And again, he was on the field full blast coaching. Like I said, you see him in some of the pictures here. Also, Hall of Fame defensive edge. You see him here. DeMarcus Ware working with Micah Parsons at practice. Worked with Micah and the other pass rushers, not just Micah Parsons, right? Here's you see the linebackers. Damone Clark is the starter next to LVE at linebacker. So another thing to kind of keep on there. Now, DeMarcus Ware also was mic'd up while he was working with the. So again, you might see him on NFL films working with our Cowboy defensive pass rushers. Of course, Micah Parsons being the headliner there. Now, as you just saw, guys, the top linebacker pairing was Leighton Vander Esch and Damone Clark. Then who replaced them as the next two guys? Jabril Cox and Malik Jefferson. Just so you guys know, no DeMarvion Overshown yet. These rookies got to earn their spot. They got to earn the stars on their helmet. They got to earn their spot. So yeah, Sean Wright's going to be there in front of everybody else. You're going to have guys like Malik Jefferson and Jabril Cox overshown right now. During the opening walkthrough, Micah Parsons also played linebacker. So they just try to show the media, hey, we're going to use Mike a little bit as well out there at linebacker. Now, here's what I wanted to say, baby, about offense. You see the kicking going on now, but offensive line. That, to me, is of major importance here. A lot of people were very impressed with Asim Richards, our 5th-round pick from North Carolina, offensive lineman. He was on, again, you can't really hit too much, but Richards today was taking on Mozzie Smith with the number 2s, the backups. Mozzie was double-teamed a bunch of times. Remember, just hands on body. There's no pads. But Asim Richards, guys, was taking on Mozzie Smith, did a great job. He worked at left guard. Important, right? He worked at left guard and even at some tackle. He plays tackle in college. He had a little bit of guard, like one game at guard. But he's going to be a guard for the Cowboys. He played at guard, a little bit at tackle. He looked good at guard against Mozzie Smith with the backups. This is the backup team here, guys, for day one, right? As far as media is related.
I still feel like even just on some of the things that we've touched on, it is very clear some of the upgrades that the Cowboys have made as far as either mindset or personnel or just the work. Like, it feels a little different. And I know we said this before, but the last time we said that, we had one of the best defenses in the league, bar none. And we were also basically only about one game away from, the Super Bowl. So I'm just trying to say, it's not bad.
Well, I'm going to say this.
Keep building on
Austin Richards, who's that fifth-round offensive lineman, we drafted him. Not talking about T.J. Bass undrafted, but Austin Richards, he did good at left guard. Let me explain. He handled Mozzie Smith's power very well, all right? And it looked very obvious that he shot, Austin Richards shot his hands well. Working on hand technique is what he said after the practice. So Richards is showing that he's putting in the work. Hey, whoever can win that spot, go for it. Go take that spot. It's there for you for the taking. The first team offensive line, right tackle, Tyron Smith. No Terrence Steele. Remember that, guys. Right guard, no Zach Martin. Who was playing right guard? Josh Ball.
Everybody's favorite.
Josh Ballsack. Center was Tyler Biadasz. Left guard, well, who's left guard? Because, left tackle was Tyler Smith, baby. So left guard, Matthew Farniok. Matt Farniok. So this is what we're talking about. Again, we talked about Zach Martin did not practice. Of course, we know that these are the big questions here for this team here. So we'll see how that continues going forward. But I do not want to see Josh Ball playing right tackle. Right guard. I don't want to see Matt Farniok playing left guard. And I don't want to see, I don't know about Let's Go or these other guys, Chuma Edoga, but it's going to be hard to get through the offensive line issues we're going to have when we know we're going to have an injury here and there, especially from someone like Tyron Smith. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, third-string quarterback, like I told you guys, Will Grier did a great job today passing he underthrew a pass, but a great job was done by Deuce Vaughn, who had that big game on the scramble drill. Grier underthrew him, but he made a great job, Vaughn adjusting, catching the ball and keeping running. Grier, did do a good job finding him, like getting away and getting deep. That's the whole purpose of the drill. But it was more about Deuce Vaughn's adjustment to the ball in the air and his ability to, make the play and then continue, accelerating after the play, which is what he's going to do, hopefully, in the NFL this year all the time. Also, I want to say one other guy, an undrafted guy, who you see in this picture here. When you see Deuce Vaughn, you'll see Hunter Lipke. Hunter Lipke, guys, listen to this. A lot of people were surprised of how much usage he got because he's an undrafted guy, right? And it's not really any hitting going on with short yardage. It was about all the athletic stuff he was doing on the field for being a short yardage guy. A lot of people were surprised how much work he got with the first stringers, with the starters. This is not second team or third team, with the first team. Now, it is day one. They're just trying different things.
But it still gives you a very small glimpse into maybe the Cowboys, let's say, hopes, right? Their desires, the things that they maybe want to see in the future.
I mean, listen, they have options. That's the case here, guys. When it comes to the passing game, with a Hunter Lipke. Again, you think about, he's going to be a fullback. He's going to be running short yardage. He's going to be running, goal line. But he can catch the ball. He's very good. He's a mismatch. For a linebacker, you can't really cover Lipke. So the Cowboys really like his versatility, and they're going to use him sometimes in there as maybe an inline tight end. He might make someone like Sean McEwen, disposable. Put him on the practice squad kind of deal. But Lipke could make a run at this thing. I've talked about his possibilities to maybe make this 53-man team. We'll have to see. Obviously, day one, the Cowboys like him, but he's coming out the backfield. They worked him a lot as intermediate dump-down kind of passes and let him use his athletic speed and mismatches to gain the extra yards needed for the first down or whatever it is that the Cowboys are trying to do. Keep that West Coast flow going. Lipke might be a great fit. We'll have to wait ski on that. So, again, guys, I only have a couple more little things here to speak on. But the 7-on-7 period was a 2-minute drill to conclude practice, to end the practice. Michael Gallup caught passes on consecutive snaps. He's also moving more comfortably, springy on the field with that another year removed from the ACL surgery. He nearly had a touchdown, like I said, but Stephon Gilmore made a great play in the end zone, break it up. Tyler Smith part. That's the thing, guys. What do you think is the over-under? I'm hearing McGelkin talking about over-under for Tyler Smith playing at left guard. Because, again, it's gonna be interesting to see how it's gonna go, how we lay out our offensive line. The left tackle is the focus. Matt Farniok and Chuma Edoga both worked at left guard. So again, I know I talked about the right side, right? Josh Ball. I know I talked about the left side with Matt Farniok, but they had, again, I also mentioned Asim Richards. Got some snaps in there, and so did Chuma Edoga, who, by the way, go back to my video I put out there. Edoga can play guard. That's what I'm looking at for him. Maybe a little bit of more guard if he can. He's a veteran, so he could be a guy if he fits right at that guard spot. Right now, it's Farniok and Ball with Edoga, and Asim Richards, the rookie, as the guys behind him working at the, behind the as the depth spots there. Again, we know the starter on the left side. We know the starter on the right side is Zach Martin. Now, Tyron Smith. He only took minimal reps. You see him on some of the pictures. He took minimal reps today, guys, with the offensive line. He played exclusively at right tackle. No left tackle spots. So we are going all out with Tyron Smith on the right side. Because, of course, guys, Terrence Steele is out. Tyler Smith, again, took all the snaps. Every snap at left tackle. That's telling us he's left tackle, kind of. They're kind of throwing that in our face. And like I said, guys, Matt Farniok also took reps at both guard spots, not just one side, and he also took reps at center as well, which if he can get through that way, and the Cowboys like flexibility. They'll take Farniok over somebody who can't play more than one position. He can play all three interior. So, and he actually can play tackle too. It's more about how good can you play it or not good. How bad is he at that spot? Now, Tyron Smith, guys, again, it looks like when he's healthy, he's gonna be the starter at right tackle. It seems like that. Matt Waletzko did rotate in there after being, Waletzko was fully cleared from that shoulder injury surgery that he had. He was cleared earlier this month, but he was getting there at the right tackle spot for Tyron Smith when he took those reps out. After the starting reps, he got out after minimal reps. Who was the backup to him on the right side without Terrence Steele? As of now, it's Matt Waletzko, right side. So it used to be Matt Waletzko on the left side, but it looks like Josh Ball is being moved inside, and Ball's not worrying about the outside anymore, the tackle spot. So we'll see what happens. The Cowboys are starting their best five. We're gonna get when he's ready to go. Terrence Steele will be at that right tackle spot, and I think that's when Tyron Smith goes to left tackle, and that's where Tyler Smith goes to the left guard until they get something working in there. Once Tyron Smith goes down and the movement starts, that's when Tyler Smith goes to left tackle, and then they get that their future set offensive line they're going to figure out that left guard spot, because right now it's a big freaking hole. When someone gets hurt, it could be Terrence Steele, it could be anybody. Knock on wood is nobody, but when Tyron Smith gets hurt, and we know that's going to happen, the Cowboys have to come up with an answer. And I don't see one right now on this team. The last thing is right there on your screen, actually, guys. Kicking. You just went off the screen there, but a real chance the Cowboys kicker is not on our roster right now. Tristan Vizcaino is out there. We're going to monitor him, of course. Listen to this, baby. Tristan Vizcaino has a chance to win the job, I guess, as anybody else. He went 7 for 9. He had 9 kicks. He made 7 of them in the dome, inside the Star Center. But he went wide right from 37 yards, and he went wide right from 51 yards. You know who the holder was? If you look closely at the video, and you'll see the picture, John Fossil was the holder. Now, you may ask, why was this? Look, I think he was maybe trying to get a feel to see if Vizcaino is, maybe he's
more hands-on approach.
Yeah, maybe. But we also know there was no Brian Anger out there. He's the one usually holding the snaps. So that's the reason why. No Anger. So Fossil was holding. My only thing is this, baby. What happens if Anger gets hurt? Fossil can't go out there and hold. We got to get a backup holder.
We're still kind of in that, same not so great scenario where, I'm just saying the cliff there, it's a sharp one.
Well, I mean, there's not even a sharp one. It goes to the abyss because we have no one else. There's nobody else that was. I mean, I'm hoping Cooper Rush can do it. Usually the backup quarterback can do that. We'll have to wait and see. So as I run this down here, baby, Kelvin Joseph, like I said, saw a lot of action today, starting at safety, but really in the nickel, in that slot cornerback spot. So he's going to the inside now. We haven't seen that he's been an outside guy. Now he's moving him inside, and he had a pass breakup. He had a chance to do something on that field. Did some good stuff on there on the 7-on-7s. But I also want to remind you, baby, as you've seen some of these pictures, here Tony Pollard, here's Deuce with Hunter Lipke, number 43 there. But as you'll see, I really like the fact that Turpin, who got all the punt and kickoff returns today, also was working a lot on the offensive side. So we'll see how, Deuce didn't get anything today on special teams. As you see here, he's doing the offense. And special teams, you see here, only one guy doing it today. Only one guy. Number 9, Kevontae Turpin. But the key here is he was also, as you can see in the next picture, was a lot involved on the offense, getting catches, running routes, and being part of the offense more than at all last year. So that's, again, guys, that was Kevontae Turpin was with the second team receivers. Just want to make that clear. J-Ron Kearse was out there. Now, baby, J-Ron Kearse changed his number, right?
I didn't.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's now 0. But he wore today out there number 27. So I don't know if the Cowboys don't have the numbers ready yet, but he was wearing his usual 27, not 0. According to most, I don't know if it's an issue with jersey, he is, I guess, not officially yet changed his jersey number. No one on the team as of this point has officially, and we know he said he had it, but no one's officially been assigned number 0 yet for the Cowboys, which became available to the players this year. So maybe it's just a waiting thing, or maybe it's just, maybe he decided to keep 27. I don't know. Right now, no one is 0 on the Cowboys. Oh, it's supposed to be J-Ron Kearse. And finally, I got to go, and you'll see here, you already saw Tony Pollard on the field. He's on the field, guys, like running full speed, taking the handoff. This is a guy who just broke his freaking fibula in January 22nd. Tony Pollard made this is a expected planned exit of practice after about 20 minutes. He had a 20-minute window, got some snaps, and left. That's all. Just the fact that we're saying Pollard's out there running with the offense is insane. He jogged through team drills, which is consistent with the expectation at this stage of recovery from that leg fracture, which you actually had said earlier. And like I said, Terrence Steele, we talked about him as well, appears in excellent condition at or ahead of rehab, but only took mental reps. Was on the field in his jersey, but was not on the field doing any kind of reps, any kind of jogging, not yet. But it's a good sign to see him out there to getting the visual and the mental reps. I love it. I don't love this kicker, Tristan Vizcaino, but we'll see how this thing kind of boils down. And as we get closer to another week, and closer to training camp, we're gonna bring in another kicker. You can bet your asses on that. I just hope it's not an unknown John Fossil favorite. I'd rather it be a veteran that we can count on. You know what I mean? So anyways, baby, there you go. There's I've broken it all down. We got extra late tonight, I think. We definitely got all the info out there. I'm glad that we were able to do that. I'm sure there'll be more stuff we'll be catching tomorrow. It's not really practice is not open tomorrow for everybody, so we have to maybe whatever we missed tonight, we'll get tomorrow and discuss here on My Cowboys Family. Friday, Sunday is the next one as well, and of course Saturday is our special little one-time viewing. No news, info, or updates. It's just open Cowboy talk. Party talk, couple drinks, little music, have some fun here with the family on My Cowboys Family. It's Saturday night. They're going out, hang out here.
Remember, one-time viewing only, so be there, be square this Saturday.
Cameras will be on. We'll be chilling. It'll be a lot of fun. We usually have a lot of fun with those, and it's we have a couple drinks, make a couple jokes. Everyone has a good time. Talk some Cowboys. Be there or be square. Saturday night. The midnight time here on East Coast is the usual time of kickoff here at MCF. So thank you all. Hitting that like, hitting subscribe, and hitting that notification bell to all videos. Following us on all social media at My Cowboys Family. And just being in the chat, guys, dropping the knowledge. All those that dropped the love from above today. Let me shout you guys out before we kind of get the last comments and shout-outs. The 1-2 punch there. But much love to Brandon James Shea, who jumped into third place today with the drop of the week, the one-time drop of the week so far, $10 holler. And then we had the great Jason Renfro, who's right now the leading in the Cash App and was leading overall, but he dropped some love here tonight. He's in second place. And then the other guy who dropped the love in here tonight, it is the man Mark Hovsepian. Dropped a lot of love, enough to get first place and restock his numbers on that Stream Boss to 99 points up there. Chauncey Golston takes it down. So, much love to Marco Seppian, who's in first place right now on the overall board. And you look at the sponsor of the week, baby, we ain't never forgetting that sponsor of the week. And same thing, he's the Cash App king.
David S. Much love to him. He came in last week, took it over, and said, I'll check you guys later. Boom. He got the crown, and he's getting it down until we see. Right now, the leader is Jason Renfro on that side, and Marco Seppian on the overall board. We'll see who claims, those crowns, those championship belts on Sunday night for our finale. On that note, baby, let's go through the comments real quick. Hero who's in the house.
last comments from them, from the people in the chat, and let's roll out of here.
Yes, C. Bass, have a great night. Landlord from Wakanda, much love to you. Ronald Rodriguez, take it easy, have a great night. We have Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. So, who's also pointing out, that's not going to be the starting O-line, y'all, so don't get excited.
Exactly, guys. Again, first day for the media to ever see what we're going to do. This is like the second day of them practicing together. This is nothing given away.
Seabass, again, anything less than, I think, 11-6 would be a huge disappointment, and 11-6 to me is like the basement, So
I say if we get 10 losses, if we only have 10 wins, someone got a major injury. Is out for a major amount of time.
That's why I said, to me, 11-6 is the basement. So, Fernando's Universe, take it easy, much love. Pioneer in the house, and yes, we have to keep it real. We'd love to be able to pretend everything is all sunshine and roses, but we talk about those things that aren't. That's the real way to hopefully adding some hardware.
And at least, and not only that, knowing about it as fans, it gets your expectations right.
Yep.
We still can win the Super Bowl.
Hopkins, but take it easy, have a great night.
We have to overcome a couple extra things because we caused this. We didn't get that offense. That could be an issue that stops from the Super Bowl. That's the reality. But yeah, much love to Hopkins in the house.
Mark Hovsepian, of course, mahalo to you. Jason Renfro, much love as well.
Yeah, JR.
Frame Rippers, a.k.a. Voodoo Alpha. Guys, make sure to go check him out. Show him some love.
Much love to Skeptical Fan. By the way, is the gifting membership leader here right now with 16. But I think we need one more membership, gifting or not. I think they get more emojis up here. So, yeah, every level we get more. We can add a couple more emojis or at least one every couple of new members that we get on here. So again.
Let me see. We also have Chappelle Hannon in the house. Take it easy. Tommy Montoya, much love. Who else is here? Ready Red, have a great night.
Ready Red in the house.
We see Cameron, what's up? Landlord from Wakanda. Mike Aldana, much love to you. Cameron. Yeah, that's actually as far back as I can go. So,
well, you guys
come back down. I think we shouted everybody out. So,
hey, we're good to go, guys. Another one in the books here. I hope you enjoyed another one here on My Cowboys Family, where it's always about that navy blue, silver too, and that star over everything, baby. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. What do we do here? We rep that star over everything. You can see that MCF with that star over it. Yeah. That's what we do here, guys. And, of course, on this channel, almost 6 years. And we're literally like a little over a month away from hitting our 6-year mark on YouTube here at the family, My Cowboys Family. Never forget the number one thing here, now and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond. Much love to everybody in the chat, dropping the knowledge all night long. Can't do this without you guys back and forth. Your back and forth makes this thing, work. It keeps it going. Yeah, it's possible. And again, your drops of love and support, humbled by the best fans of all YouTube. On that note, here in MCF, My Cowboys Family, all good things must come to an end as we relock and reload tomorrow for another show. And of course, clock out and drop out of here for the night. Baby, before we can officially do that and officially drop out of here for the night, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. Beat's been dropped. It's a wrap right here on My Cowboys Family with the wife, myself, and you guys. Great chat today. A lot of news, info, and updates. Tomorrow, not as much. But we'll definitely go through whatever fell through the cracks. A couple quotes here and there. A little more, shorter stream probably tomorrow, but definitely great discussions with you guys, the family, in the chat for Fan Friday. Let's do it. Saturday, one-time only live stream, party stream, fun stream. Join us for that. And then Sunday, the finale, yeah. Trying to crown some champions. Is it going to be Mark? Is it going to be Jason? Who's going to be? We'll see. Either way, guys, join us here for another one tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and beyond. You know how we do this here. Almost 6 years and beyond. And still on the nightly, talking about our Cowboys, having these Cowboy chats here as a family, right? OTA's first one open for the media, but they've had this is their second one of the year. So don't read too much into this. We'll get a lot more information on Diggs, why he wasn't there, and others tomorrow. But don't worry, guys, no injuries. That's the great news. Always the best news when we're talking about our guys on our team, right? And here in MCF, it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here, My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house, even the haters. Even the people that don't love the Cowboys. we see you. Much love. Stay safe, everyone. Appreciate you all. Join us back here for another one tomorrow. Hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell. Peace out. Have a good night once again. And never, ever forget. Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.